Hello! Welcome to your first video on exponent properties. This picture right here, I did not take it, but I have visited this place quite a few times. It's called the Magic Tree, and it's in Columbia, Missouri, and it's decorated with so many lights. It's pretty ridiculous. So we're going to start out with a little problem here. We need to write the product without any exponents. Well, a cubed, that's really just a times a times a is a cubed. A squared is a times a. Now let's write it with a single power. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a's there. So a with a single power, that's going to be a to the 5th power. So let's see if we can come up with a rule. Here, I've got a cubed times a squared, and that gave me a to the 5th. I want to figure out a way to go from this junk at the top to this part at the bottom without doing all this gobbledygook in the middle. So for this, when I have a to the m power times a to the n power, I can just take those two pieces and add them together. So that's a to the m plus n. Notice that our bases are the same. We don't have a on one and w on the other. We have both of those as a, and a just continues straight across. Let's try a couple examples of this. I've got 5 cubed times 5 to the 6th. Again, my base is going to stay the same. I'm not changing anything with that. Here I've got 3 5s, here I've got 6 5s, so altogether I've got 3 plus 6, or 9 5s. So that's 5 to the 9th power. Looking at the next one, I've got 3 cubed x squared times 3 squared x to the 4th. Well, I'm only going to combine the things that have the same base. So for my 3's, I have 3 to the 2nd power and 3 to the 3rd power. So that's 3 to the 3 plus 2. And for my x's, I've got x to the 2nd power and x to the 4th power. So that's x to the 2 plus 4. Now this step you do not actually have to write out every time. I'm just doing it so you can see what's happening right now. You can go from this original blue problem directly down here to the answer of 3 to the 3 plus 2 is 5, and x to the 2 plus 4 is 6. So that's 3 to the 5th, x to the 6th. Something to note, this is not the same as 3x to the 11th. You cannot simply take the things and combine them together again. We can't combine those exponents because 3 and x are two different bases. They're not the same. You give it a try. 3u to the 4th, v to the 5th times 7u squared v cubed. Pause your video at this time and restart it once you have an answer. Did you get 21u to the 6th, v to the 8th? If you did, give yourself a swirl. If you didn't, go back to the examples and see where you went wrong. This one was a little bit tricky because this is the first time we've had two different bases. Because we're multiplying in the center, you can just go ahead and multiply like normal. If you got this wrong, go back and you fixed your mistake. If you got it wrong, give yourself an X. When you fix your mistake, put a circle around it. Next, let's look at this. Here I have a to the 3rd raised to the 4th. So that's the same as a cubed times a cubed times a cubed times a cubed, because I'm taking a to the third times itself 4 different times. Now to write it with a single power, I'm going to use the rule that I came up with in the last example. I've got the same base multiplying together, and I'm going to add these exponents. So 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So this is a to the 12th power. Now again, I really don't want to do all this extra gobbledygook right there. I want to go from this a cubed to the 4th power directly down here to this. So for that, I need to come up with a new rule. Here, a to the m to the nth power, that's just a to the m times n power. Again, my base didn't change. Let's try 2 examples together. Here I've got 5 cubed to the 4th times 5 to the 6th. So I've got 5 cubed to the 4th, well 3 times 4, that's 5 to the 12th. And then I've got my 5 to the 6th, which is still going to tag along for the ride. Then I need to combine those. Well, I've got the same base and I'm multiplying, so I need to add these exponents now. So that's going to equal 5 to the 18th. Second example. Here, this 3 is going to distribute to every single part. So I'm going to take 3 times this 3, 3 times this 2, and then 3 times, well, there's no exponent there with the y. If there's no exponent shown, it's automatically got an exponent of 1. So that's going to turn into 3 times 3, that's 5 to the 9th. 3 times 2, that's x to the 6th. And that 1 times 3 for the last piece is going to give me y to the 3rd. You try. Pause your video, take your time, and replay once you think you have the answer. Did you get 2 cubed, x to the 9th, z to the 6th? If you did, draw yourself a sunshine. If you didn't, put an X on your paper, see if you can figure out your mistake. Once you figure out your mistake, put a circle around your X. You have 4 homework problems tonight. The red numbers here on the side are just telling you the problem numbers. Give your best effort and we will talk about these tomorrow. Have a great night.